G'day everyone. Welcome back to Patio Down Under.
G'day, guys.
We are your hosts. I'm Ada.
I'm Steve. Oh,
Steve O. You're going to call yourself Steve.
yeah. And I remember. Oh, there's an O. That was clumsy.
Yes. Welcome back, guys.
Yeah.
We're here. Here we are again.
Yep.
I think we're working our way through our ideas for episodes. We're getting towards the pointy end, so to speak. We're running out of ideas.
Oh, I know. Still a few things.
We've got a few.
We've got a few, but the trying to, like, when we come up with the topics we want to talk about, we have to, like, get that grey matter working again with some of the things that we've done and try and recall things and say, yeah, well, we can talk about that. We've got a few things to talk about. So that's we've got topics, but we've just got to try and remember some of the stuff that we did with those topics.
So we've got about 5 weeks to go now, roughly, till we go to Thailand.
Yep.
And we've probably got, let's say, today's episode.
How many seconds was that?
Yeah, we've got. I'm not sure what you're talking about then. We've got, like, today's episode, obviously. So another 4 weeks. So I reckon we've probably got enough. Yeah, probably just enough content to get us through till we get there.
Yep.
And then obviously we'll have a couple of weeks break because we'll be over there, and then hopefully come back with a bit more content.
We're trying to do like one a week, and
yeah.
We just the last one took a bit longer than normal. We just both got caught up, and the previous time for the
previous to the last recording,
but the one before that was a bit wild.
Speaking in the microphone, please.
Was a bit of a while before we actually
got
to the mics.
We'll be punching out one a week again from here on until late April when we go over there.
And we're gonna look at getting some microphones, I guess, to do a recording over there too. I think I'd like to do one over there when we're in Pattaya.
Yeah.
We'll have to see if we can organise something.
Yeah. I'm sure I could get a hold of a couple of bar owners maybe we could talk to, just have a chat.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We will be in touch with Paul from patiocentral.com, see if he wants to have a chat. If you're out there, Paul, let us know. Send us an email if you're interested in having a chat and recording. You could give your business a plug.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, so that's the plan over the next month or so, or 2 months probably. But after that,
so today we're talking about relationships.
We'll discuss relationships. Yeah. Yeah,
I think again, as usual, Ada's had more experience in this area than I have. He's been going a lot longer and so forth. So he's got a few more stories than I do, and he has been in a relationship with.
It was short term.
Yeah.
I tend not to get involved in that kind of thing. But
you did.
I was going to say something, and I just went, "Oh no, that's
yeah."
No.
But you did.
I was going to say. She was different, but to this day, she.
But I actually, I actually think that it was going well, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I always. We'll get into it a bit later. We'll get into it a bit later. First of all, I just want to discuss. All you hear horror stories. All you hear are horror stories. I know.
I've got a mate of mine.
Yeah,
that I'm going to get on one day. I'm going to call him up and tell him to come on. He's got some cracking stories.
Yeah, I know of a guy, like, so many horror stories, but I think for every 100 horror stories, we'll say, there's probably one genuine story that successful. You and I both have a relation who has a Thai wife he met over there.
Yeah. Had 4 kids.
30 years ago or something. Family, 4 kids, 4 beautiful kids.
Yeah, the whole
very successful relationship. It ended recently, but that was his choice. But they lived. She came over here.
Yeah, it was,
and they had a long, successful relationship.
Yeah.
A guy I worked with years ago. He same thing. Young, single guy, travelling to Pattaya, doing what he did. Met a girl. She's here. They got a kid. They're happy. It happens. I know of. So we'll get stuck in a story about a very good mate of mine, one of my best mates. Him and I travelled to Thailand a few times together. On our second trip, he met a girl. Genuine girl, I believe, as genuine as they can be. Bar girl, though, let's throw that out there. We all know what they're like. They have that reputation. But had a solid relationship for 5 years. She spent a lot of time over here. He'd go there for holidays, stay in the village. She moved back to the village. Obviously, he was sponsoring her. He was supporting her financially. That ended. He ended it basically. I think he just got sick of it. I remember she would come here probably twice a year on a tourist visa for a few months. Always a good indication, because when they come over here, you study their behaviour. You know, are they always on the phone? Who are they on the phone to? Very hard for them to keep a relationship with other sponsors.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
Not saying it's impossible.
Yeah, I know, but I've heard lots of stories like that where they go into another room and they're still maintaining other boyfriends.
Well, I've been with girls who have ducked off into the bathroom to make those calls. You know, whatever. You know, but so and again, as I said, so she would travel here a couple of times a year. They were together, I think, 5 years all up. Obviously planning a future, and he met someone here, and ended it with his Thai girlfriend. So they can be nasty. The girls can be fucking conniving, manipulating. They can be, and they are. I'd say most of them, if not all of them, have that in them. No doubt about it. But there's a few stories out there. You talk to some girls and really get down to the nitty gritty. A lot of them have been left hanging by farangs who promise them the world and then just go, nah, fuck it,
Yeah, I found someone else.
Yeah, it happens too. It happens to them too.
Yeah.
Now, just a disclaimer though, am I no way encouraging or endorsing a relationship with a bar girl? Because I think you're skating on thin ice there. You have a very good chance you're going to get fucked over or you're going to be played. That's going to happen. Well, like I said, 1 in 100 maybe are successful, but I can also guarantee you that 1 in 100, she's done wrong by that dude at some point of their relationship. Sure, she may have agreed to move over to that country, whatever country the guy's from, and live a happy life onwards. But during that courting period, I guarantee you she's done something. Because
probably.
Because Steve-O didn't turn his phone off.
Yeah.
Because I've been that guy. So I met a girl there once a while ago, and we sort of connected and chatted and that while I was here. Came back, we were chatting and that, and she lived in a gated community, and I knew obviously she wasn't working in the bars as far as I knew, but probably was, or was doing something, maybe freelancing. Who fucking knows? She's getting money from somewhere, but it wouldn't have been enough to pay rent at that house. It was a house. It was a villa in a gated community. Now, she not earning that cash, so she's obviously being sponsored by someone else. And I had friends who knew her said to me, oh, she has a boyfriend. I said, yeah, I know she's got a boyfriend. I don't care if she's got a boyfriend. I'm not going to marry this girl. I like talking to her, have a bit of fun, have a bit of chat. So this went on for a while, and then to the point where I even went over there and I went to Krabi for 4 or 5 days, and she came with me. And so she told me the story. And again, I don't give a shit. Oh, fuck, I know how the game's played. So she was like, oh, my ex-boyfriend, he's like where I used to live with him, he's doing renovations on the house. So she's like the mediator. So she's talking to the builder, the Thai builder, and then letting him know what's happening. So every night she'd have to call him and update him on the progress of the renovations, which I call bullshit, right? Fair enough. So anyway, towards the end of the 4 or 5 days, we head back to Bangkok. We stayed a night in Bangkok and we're heading back down to Pattaya. So we head back down to Pattaya, to Bangkok, and we're in Bangkok and we're walking through the shops. So over the 4 or 5 days, I wasn't pressing her too hard. I was just chatting to her about, her having another boyfriend and all that kind of thing. And she was just in complete denial. And I was like, all right. So anyway, we're walking through one of the shopping malls in Bangkok. I think that's Terminal 21 as well. I think it's called, maybe, or something. Anyway, I can't remember the name of it. One of the big ones. I think that's what it's called. And she's showing me something on her phone, and she gets a message. You know how the banner pops up in the top of the phone? The message comes up straight away. I can't remember the dude's name, but it was, "Can't wait to come over and fuck you," or something like that. And she's looked at it and panicked, and I just saw a panic in her face. I just went, "You know what? I don't care. I'm just more pissed off that you're a liar." I said, "You're just like all the rest of them, you know." So anyway, we went down to Pattaya. When we got to Pattaya, we get there and she's like, "Oh, where are we staying?" I said, "Oh, I'm staying in this hotel. I don't know where you're staying." I said, I'm in Pattaya now. I'm not going to fucking hang around you for the next 7 or 8 days. You can get fucked. So anyway, after that happened, we stayed in contact. But like I said, I was never going to have a relationship with her. It was never going to happen. But she always told me how I'm a nice guy and all that. Anyway, the next visit I'd made over there, she, in the meantime, had married, I don't know if it was the same guy, but she told me she'd met someone after I'd come back. She'd met someone from Norway, I think, and they'd gotten married. So she was married now. So the next time I went, she's married. It all happened within 6 months. So no worries. Anyway, so I go over there. She goes, "I just want to catch up. Just for friends." I said, yeah, sweet, no worries. So we go for dinner, and then went for drinks at the Triangle Bar, which is at the corner of Soy Pothole and Soy Chai Pun. No, Soy Excite and Soy Pothole, Chai Pun, whatever it is. So we're in there having a drink, and then she starts telling me about how she misses me and all the fucking bull. And she turns on the fucking waterworks. She starts crying, and I was like, fucking this. What's going on here? I said, let's go. We'll go to Walking Street. So we walked to Walking Street. On the way to Walking Street, we passed my accommodation. That's where I had the Airbnb. So we passed there, and she's taken her heels off, and she's walking barefoot through the street. And she goes, "Do you mind if we pop in and I wash my feet before we go to Walking Street? Because we're just going to go down, get a BART bus to Walking Street. So she didn't have to walk that much." So she wanted to wash her feet. Oh, no worries. So we go in. And my Airbnb had the shower that had the rain shower, so the one that is attached to the wall, and the handheld one. Mm-hmm. So she's apparently grabbed the handheld one, turned the water on, but the water's come from above, and she's gotten wet. Her dress, everything got wet. So she come out, she goes, "Oh, I'm all wet. I can't go to Walking Street now." As I said, she's married. "Can't go to Walking Street, I'll have to wait till this dries." Cut a long story short, I fucked her that night. Right? So, yeah, I guarantee you, as good as your girlfriend is, there's a good chance that that's happening. But, again, they do end up as success stories. I don't know where she is now. I don't talk to her anymore. But they do end up success stories. There's another girl, a friend of a friend I could have, but I didn't because I knew she had a boyfriend. I had the guilts on that night. The night with the girl.
Not the other
night I had no guilts, but I had the guilts on because I'd actually met the dude years before.
And that made you feel uncomfortable then?
But she actually hopped into bed with me and I went, "Oh, nah, this isn't cool." But she's now happily married to this guy in his country of origin, It can work. It can happen. But I think you've got to be in that time frame of meeting her and having her move to your country. You've got to have an open mind and not be too possessive, obsessive.
But that's hard, though.
It's very hard.
Because
it's very hard.
When you meet someone and you really like them, you get to the point where they're thinking, "I'm going to bring them over, to where I live." Anyone who does that is sitting there going, "I'm looking for a commitment."
Yeah.
So, because look, it's not cheap to bring them over either. So
no,
a bit of money to spend. So you got to sit there and say, number one, do I have the money to do that? And if you do, and you don't have that much, but you've just enough to pay it, you're committed to this.
Yeah.
So you are looking for someone who's not going to do that. So, I watched this YouTube video of this guy who is in Pattaya, but he went through a lot of this stuff. And he decided in the end that he really wanted someone that was committed. So he went to Bangkok.
Yep.
And he started looking for girls that are actually working in shops and things.
Yep.
No bars, no nothing.
Yep.
And then he found a girl and he
100%.
And that's how he got a relationship that worked.
So there is another guy on YouTube. I won't name him. I actually like the guy. I'm a subscriber. I like his stuff. I listen to his stuff. He's really good. English guy. And a lot of his content, he tells stories. There's a couple of guys that tell stories from subscriber stories. They tell their stories on their channels. So I don't want anyone who listens to all this anyone who knows the Thai vlogging community will know these guys. But anyway, so he got burnt by a bar girl years ago, or he'd been to Pattaya and he knows what the bar girls are like and thought, I'm never going to hook up with a bar girl. So he actually met a girl out in, I think, Buriram.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so wanted to live the village lifestyle, which is fantastic. And that's just all gone sour. She was apparently a fucking nut job.
Was she previously a bar girl?
I don't think so, no.
Oh.
No. Not to my knowledge, and he's never mentioned it, and he's sworn off bar girls, so I'm assuming not.
Okay.
And
you know, a lot of them are bar girls.
Yeah, I understand that. but then there's, where did I see? I saw another guy. I can't remember who I saw, but he did exactly that. He went on the dating sites in Bangkok, found a professional. When I say professional, I mean someone who works works a legitimate
like in
job,
a bank or a shop or something like that. Yeah.
And she doesn't rely on him for money at all. When it's his birthday, she buys him gifts, like nice gifts.
Yeah, it's
so
like
a normal relationship.
Yeah.
So
and that's the advice that guy gave was spot on, because what you just said is what it was all about. And he said that if you go to the bars, you are going to look for girls that have been, brought up through that whole way of life. You rely on everyone else for money. Don't do it yourself, right? Don't make them pay for everything. Make them do this. And they're taught that, and you can't, especially like any situation where this is the easiest path of resistance to make money and to do things and just be happy and whatever.
Yeah.
Like that's what they'll do. But the ones that work hard and actually earn their own money, they learn a different life. So they're happy.
A normal life.
Yeah. But, well, I mean,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the pathway we're all used to here anyway. So
yeah, that's right.
So when they do that and they work for themselves, they're happy to buy you something because they're sitting there going, I stand on my own 2 feet.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll buy you something, no worries.
Yeah.
You buy them something.
And I guess
if you're really after a relationship, you don't go to the bar.
When if you grow up and you're educated in a city like Bangkok, you're going to be more progressive. You're going to, but if you've grown up in the village, you're not that educated. And I don't mean any disrespect. It's a fact. It's a fact. They're not properly educated. The families, can't probably afford proper education, and that's how they end up in the bars. So yeah, if you look for a girl who's properly educated, who went to university, has a good job, that's probably where you're going to find a genuine relationship.
Yeah.
If you look at anywhere else, I think
it's
not impossible.
It's hit and miss.
Yeah.
More miss than hit.
Yeah. A lot more.
A lot more. Whereas if you go to the main city and you find someone who actually works, it's more hit than miss.
Yeah.
Actually, it'd be more like just even here, because it's hit and miss here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's but the thing is, when you
ask my ex-wife, she's living comfortably and I'm fucking not. I'm renting.
Well, when you hit here, if it works out well and you're both working, you can it's a normal life. Yeah. Where you'll eventually lose everything anyway.
Yeah.
If things go pear-shaped, that's right.
And also, I'll touch on this a bit later as well. I'll finish off with a couple of stories, but when you're meeting girls around Pattaya, you might meet a girl who works in a retail store or works in just like a sports bar that, doesn't bar fine girls, that kind of stuff. You might meet and go, oh, she's not a bar girl. If they're living in Pattaya, at some stage of their life, they've been a bar girl. Yeah, I reckon there's a fair chance she's, and remember, mate, you can take the girl out of the bar, but you can't take the bar out of the girl.
There you go.
You can take them out of the bar, but they love that lifestyle. They keep going back to it, some of them. I love it.
Yeah, I know. We know one that's still there working the bars, and she's not working the bars as a bar girl anymore. She's now what would they call a madam or a
mama
son? Yeah.
Who? Which one? You don't want to say her name?
No,
Are
I
you
don't want to say her
scared?
name. No, I'm not scared. I'm just not gonna. It's none of my business to say her name.
Brown Wings?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't know.
She's a mother's son there.
Oh, where?
Oh, I don't know. She's in one of the bars.
Okay.
I've seen. Am I still? Where do I see her pictures? Facebook. I think I'm still friends with her on Facebook, and
Yeah,
I see now and then she's, with friends of hers. But it's always the same two girls she's with.
This, I'm just thinking this probably sounds funny to anyone listening because when I asked who, it went silent for about a second, and you've mouthed her name to me. Yeah, yeah. So,
well, because she's an intelligent person, and if she ever finds out about this, she'll listen to it, and she'll be sitting there going, "That's me," and I don't want her to know that.
well, she probably knows you're talking about her now.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway. So well, yeah, okay. So where was I? You've just
I've distracted you, haven't I?
me. You've distracted
So we were
me.
talking about Bangkok and I was talking about they're the place to go.
I was going to lead into another.
Misses and
I was going to lead into another horror story. I know of a guy. I worked with the guy actually. Worked with him years ago, and he came into some money through a road accident, right? So he was riding his motorbike, hit by a car, shattered his ankle, was laying on the ground in agony. You're right. Hear some humming?
Yeah, I hear some humming.
Your phone again?
Yeah, it's my phone.
Mate. So he's lying in agony. The driver's come up, was, I think, Asian descent, didn't speak much English, went to help this guy, and this guy's told him to fuck off, you fucking arsehole. So this bloke's like, gone, fuck this. He's jumped in the car and just driven off, right? Because he felt threatened.
Oh, right.
Right? So it then became a hit and run. So he was a victim of crime. So he got paid out by the government, by the TA, what do they call it, TAC?
Is it TAC?
Vic Roads?
Vic Roads.
Whatever it is. Got paid out by them, paid out by victims of crime, come into a bit of money. In the meantime, he's met a girl. Now, I don't know where he met her. It was never clear on where he met her, but
more than likely Thailand?
maybe, yes. Yeah, I mean, what part of Thailand? Bars or whatever. But she lived out in Khon Kaen. And so he's taken this money and he's built a massive house on a massive block. Ford Ranger, ute, full, like motorbikes, everything. So he used to go back there for holidays and visit his girlfriend and that. No, they got married. Actually, they got married. I got invited to the wedding. So they were married. I didn't go because I had a mate of ours' wedding. So I didn't go to this one in Thailand. But he got married and everything. And then COVID hit and obviously he couldn't travel over there. And then one day he's just tried to contact her and nothing. She's cut him off.
Wow. See,
cut him off. And so from what I understand, he did some digging and found that she had a Thai boyfriend. And he'd moved into the house and everything.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
He was planning for an early retirement. He was saving. He was investing, planning for an early retirement. COVID hit, and he
just didn't know that he was planning someone else's retirement.
Exactly. Yeah. So and he was very angry, so angry to the point he just wasn't thinking straight, and just aired all his dirty laundry on Facebook, and just it was it was embarrassing for the poor bloke. But yeah, he'd been played big time. Now, had COVID not hit, that may not have happened. But
may have
or may not, who knows? But she's probably sitting there on her own, going, "Fuck, who knows when this is going to end?"
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Yeah. When we went over there and I met a few birds myself and was chatting to them and that, and then came back here and was still chatting to them and thinking that maybe I can get into a relationship with one of them. I learnt the hard way that's not going to happen in a hurry.
Do you know?
And let me finish.
Sorry.
And what I found is I started talking to one who sort of I ended up becoming friends with, and she was telling me that they often go, afterwards to bars that are not for lung. And they just go with Thai men.
Yeah, that's right.
And just have a bit of fun.
That's right. That happens.
So it's when you said about that this bird met some Thai bloke and whatever. They're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
Even they're just having their own fun just the same.
Yeah, apparently there are bars around Pattaya
Yeah.
that are like bars that we go to, but young Thai men for the Thai women.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so you might sit there thinking, who else? Which other Falungs she's talking to? She's talking to more than just Falungs.
Yeah.
So, and look what happened with COVID. I mean, how many of them would have just started hooking up with Thai men because there's no Falungs around?
Yeah, they buy them drinks as well, like lady drinks, but boy drinks, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
It works exactly the same as
Yeah. So, it's you really want a good relationship. Bangkok, go to the city and do the normal thing.
I think the best one I heard, like we all know the stories. The buffalo's sick, my grandma's sick, I had a motorbike accident, my jewellery got stolen. All the stories.
I have no money. I need a new bed for my child.
The best one I heard was, the life insurance policy.
Oh, that's my story.
Yeah, that's your story. That's very stupid but clever too. To come up with some bullshit like that.
No,
you got to be thinking outside the box in that one.
That's a good one. And no, I didn't send any money for that, but I did get caught out because this one bird I was talking to a lot, and I really liked, and I couldn't wait to COVID to be over because I wanted to go over and see her. And she was, crying poor, and obviously she's got videos. I'm doing
FaceTiming,
yeah, right. And she's showing me this horrible looking house that they live in, and where the parents live, and whatever, and all this sort of stuff, and it looks pretty horrible, and they do live there. And she, she obviously missed Pattaya because while she was there, she was always staying in hotels and living the life, right? And she kept crying poor all the time and everything. And so I sort of started sending her money, right? Not a lot. Like I'd maybe send 500 baht, then maybe 1,000 baht.
Yeah.
And then I started meeting her kids and all that sort of stuff. And I think I sent her about 2,000 baht, and she bought a bike for her daughter.
Yeah.
And she even sent me the video of when her daughter allegedly rode the bike for the first time and all sorts of stuff. And I was getting caught up in it all.
7 other blokes bought that bike too. You know that, don't you?
No, I probably did pay for the bike, but let me get to the real story here. So then she's like, it's really hard for me sleeping in the main area because I'm so used to the hotels and that. And next thing you know, they're building this extra little apartment off the side.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, where do you get the money? Oh, we borrowed it from the bank.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Jeez. All right. So she's built this whole thing. And then she's like, and then they just had this sheets on the floor, like as if that's where they sleep. Now we've got no money now. We've built this, but there's nowhere for me to sleep. I need money for a bed and this and that. And I'm like, oh, okay, no worries. And I got off and I thought about it and I thought, I shouldn't. I know, I just feel like this isn't right. I just feel like I'm being strung along. But then I'd have a few more video calls with her and she'd start to, take her top off and things like that. And I'm sitting there going, oh, geez, maybe she's been, I don't know. I was getting sucked in. Yes.
No, she was ahead of the race. She started OnlyFans before OnlyFans started. She fucking knows what's going on.
She was onto it. And in the end, I did send her I think I sent her 5,000 baht. And then because I said to her, how much do you need for the bed? And I think she said it was like 4,000 baht. And I've gone, I'll send her 5 and then she can buy some sheets and whatever she needs to buy. Anyway, I've spoken to her again, and all of a sudden there's this bed, and there's a bedside table, and there's a cupboard and a wardrobe. And
like I said, there's 7 other blokes buying furniture as well.
And a tall boy. And I go, how much will this cost you? And she goes, 12,000 baht. I only gave you 5,000. Oh, we borrow more from the bank. And that's when I realised there's no bank. Well, there is. It's just another version of me about 7 times. And that's when I stopped sending the money after that.
I think she got it from the Bank of Farang.
Yeah, the Bank of Farang. And that's when I thought, Jesus Christ, thank God I didn't try and bring her over. I would have been screwed back.
The International Bank of Farang.
Yeah, and that's when I found out through other means that she was talking to other people.
Yeah, of course. And, absolutely.
But it was confirmed, and that's when I said, okay.
Pretty sure I told you that was happening, didn't I?
Yeah, but then it was confirmed.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
All right. But anyway, it is what it is.
But the life insurance story.
But that's a cracking story. So
Yeah.
what she said to me, she goes that her dad is very sick and her mum is very sick, and she's going to get life insurance on herself so that if something happens to her, they get paid out. And
No. Didn't she say that if one of her parents gets sick and they need money, that she'll take her life?
Oh,
so they
sorry.
can-
Hang on,
yeah.
let me get to it.
Sorry.
So first, she said that if they get sick, that they can get taken care of if something happens to her.
Yeah.
Right. So she's got this life insurance, and then fast forwarding and a lot of conversations, and then she's one day I rang her and she's all crying and she's all upset and she's going, oh, the bank now, they want the money and this sort of stuff. And in the end, it actually apparently wasn't even a bank, so it was another family that they borrowed the money from.
That's how they do it over
That's
there.
how they do it, right?
Yeah.
So, but she refers to it as the bank, right?
Yep.
Okay, no, she starts crying. She's saying, going, I think I'm going to take my life, then my parents can pay everything off. And I'm sitting there going, oh, why are you doing that? I need money. It's no good. I need money to take mum and dad to hospital, and I need money. And I'm sitting there going, dude, seriously.
That's
and then
pretty,
when I told you that story,
I was pretty happy with that. I was proud of her.
not a bad story.
She didn't come out with the buffalo, no buffalo, sick buffalo, none of that shit.
They actually had pigs, and the pigs were good. They actually made money out of the pigs. There was no bad stories about pigs. It was all good stories.
Yeah.
She sent me photos of the piglets, and the dad was taking care of them, and apparently the father used to sleep with the pigs down at the farm.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were in all the mud and the dirt.
I've done that before. Then I divorced her. Anyway.
I knew you were going to say that. So that was for me, that was not really, I wasn't in a relationship because we did have that discussion, and she goes, if you want me to be in a relationship with you, you need to send me money. There has to be a value we've got to come up with, and I've got to send that every month to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had those discussions with her, and she wanted something like about 30,000 baht a month.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there going, look at
there are some girls, and their sponsors are giving them like 40,000.
Well, one of her friends.
I'm like, how the fuck can they afford that?
Well, one of her friends had an English partner, and he was what was his job? Let's just say a personal assistant, right? And he was like a personal assistant to one of the soccer league players. Now, I can't remember who the soccer player was.
Yep.
But he was an assistant to one of these soccer players, and
that's football for you,
football,
English.
yeah, football, and he was getting good coin, and he used to send her 50,000 baht a month.
Wow!
Right, and with that money, he also sent, let's say English dollars,
Pounds.
Pounds. Australian dollars.
Oh, yep.
Australian dollars. He sent her 150,000 Australian dollars, right, to buy a house and set up because he'd already had a kid with her.
Yep.
Right? So he'd sent the money and he was sending 50,000 baht a month. So this bird, and I got to know this girl as well, and I rang her one day just to say hello, and she showed me through her new house.
Yeah.
I mean, this house was equal to, if not better than some of the houses I've seen here, which are really nice.
Yeah.
Right? She went all out, and the rooms were huge. The bedrooms were as big as our lounge rooms here. Like, they went all out.
Yeah.
This thing was massive.
Yeah.
All ready for him to apparently come and live with her.
Yeah. I've heard some stories about that kind of thing happening where they keep sending. So what was the story? So I watch. So like I said, I watch these YouTube vloggers, and there's a couple out there that tell stories from subscribers sending stories. And one of them told a story. I'm pretty sure it was one of them told a story about a guy who was sending money because they were building a house. And now at the end of the story wasn't quite clear on what happened, but send me 20,000 for this. So he'd send money over and send this, and so she would take photos of the progress, right? So taking all these photos, sending them back to him. Oh, we've done this. Sent all this money. He's gone over to see his new house. It's not there. There's no house. I don't know. That's what I don't know if they built the house and then moved it. Like, I don't know if they do that in Thailand, like they do here, move a house.
Either that, or she's built it elsewhere where he doesn't know where it is.
Or it's someone else's house and she's just fucking gone and take photos. I don't know but he's
Well, the smarter thing would be is to build a house somewhere else where he doesn't even know.
Yeah.
And just go, hey, look at this. The house is getting built.
Well, that's possibly what happened. I can't remember the story. It wasn't too clear on how it ended, but they just
Anything.
But he went there and the
is
house wasn't
possible.
on the block that was supposed to be.
Anything's
So,
possible.
Yeah. So
There's so many stories, and I will ring my mate because I'd love to get him on because he's had a lot of experience. Like he's got into full relationships.
is this the guy that went to the village that time? And
Yes.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll tell that story.
Yeah, that's
because that is an absolute cracking story.
yeah.
We'll see. I don't know if I can get him on. He's I don't know that he will come on, but I'll ask him. Ask him.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to hear that story.
Yeah.
I'd love him to tell that story himself.
Yeah.
Because it's an amazing story, and it's one of those stories that you get yourself in that position and you will do exactly what he did.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to go. Let's not ruin it. So I'm not going to tell the story. I don't want to bring up any parts of it. But
it's not.
Wait for it.
It's not hard to do. It is
No,
not
I know.
hard to fall in love with one of those girls.
Oh, absolutely.
They know how to play you.
You know me, Adrian. Ada, what I went through over there. You know what I went through.
Yeah.
Right. And what ended up happening to me, I got pretty emotional about it.
Yeah.
So anyone can get caught up in it.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy to get caught up. Yeah.
So anyone can.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah. So I've come close. I come close once. As we
That's
mentioned,
right.
we mentioned earlier,
She was different.
She was different.
Yeah.
She was different.
But you know what? I kind of agree with you.
Well, when you think of her history,
Yeah.
right, of her background, you understand why she may have had potential. So I met her in a bar. Now she'd only been single, so she was married, young, to a English guy, and I think they bought a bar in Thailand. In Pattaya, they had a bar when they first got married. And I don't think it worked out, or it wasn't working out. So they've sold up and they've moved back to England. So she's gone back to England with her husband, had a couple of kids. So she's living a happy life in England. He was an abuser of.
That's what she said, though.
I know this is all her side of the story.
Yeah.
He was a drug and alcohol abuser. He roughed her up a bit as well. So she got sick of it and moved back to Thailand, back to her village, took the boys with her. So then went to work in the bars, had a couple of relationships, and then met a young English guy. So he agreed to sponsor her. She went home, back to the village, and lived there for, I think she was with him for a few years. And he was a young guy, and his parents didn't approve of him having a ex-bar girl as a girlfriend, which I understand as parents. So he always promised to bring her back over, but I think it was 4 or 5 years altogether. I can't remember. He never did, which is always for her would be a red flag. But he would constantly go over and visit and support her, and he was good to her. Really good to her and her kids. He was good. But that ended because it wasn't going anywhere, and I'm not sure who ended it. I can't remember, but that ended. So bang, she's found herself in Pattaya again in the bars, where I met her. I don't know how long after. She said it was only a matter of weeks. You just don't know. It could be fucking months. Could even been a year. I don't know. And when I met her, I never, all the times I've been there, all the years I've been there, I've never gone there looking for a relationship because, like I said, it's fraught with danger. But when I met her, she was different.
As they all are.
But because of her history, she spoke really good English. She had an understanding.
She actually really did have good English compared to a lot of the other ones.
She had an understanding of, how can I say this? An understanding of Western culture and banter and that kind of thing, Quite often you have a joke with a Thai lady and it's sort of lost in translation. Different cultures, the joke doesn't quite resonate with them. She sort of got all the banter. She really was good at bantering on and having a laugh and all that. And I'm like, fuck, I've never met anyone like this here before, So, but, spent a couple of days and I was like, nah, fucking 2-day rule, 3-day rule, time to go. But as you know, you were there. After a couple of days, I'd go back and see her and we'd spend a bit of time together. And
I think, though, that I left.
Yes, correct. You left. I spent the week an extra week there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and you did hook up with, and you were. I remember we were messaging each other, and you were telling me how I think I like this one. This one's. I think she's different.
Always, always have your guard up.
Oh, of course. Out of all the people, when you said that, I'm sitting there going, "Wow, like there must be something here that he really believes that this is going to work."
Yeah.
Because you always telling me over and over and over again, don't get caught up in their bullshit.
So the problem is now. I'll get into it. Why I trusted her. Well, when I say trusted her, she. So anyway. So
you trusted her as the most that you could trust.
Let me go into the story. So then spent a bit of time with her. So came back here, would talk to her. I think at this stage she was still working in the bar. Then things started to evolve, and I said to her, "Look, I'm not rich. I don't have much money. I can't give you money. What do you want to do?" So she went back to the village. I gave her a few $100 here and there. I wasn't giving her fucking 30,000 baht a month.
Not that did I.
But I said to her, I can't keep doing this. And she said, "I'm happy." So anyway, I have the 3-strike rule. I don't know if I've mentioned the 3-strike rule on this.
I don't think we've talked about your 3-strike rule.
So I have a 3-strike rule. We always talk to everyone when you go on holiday, you meet a Thai girl, you exchange details, you come back,
Just out of interest, I was just calculating that the 30,000 baht you talked about in Australian dollars would be 1,300 Australian dollars a month. Who could afford that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could, but you'd be fucking living on your own, you're living on fucking bread and water.
What's the point?
I mean, when after all your other expenses, you like to save a bit of cash as well. Like fucking that $1,300 a month.
I wouldn't be able to go back over.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so she. So I've lost. So yeah, the 3-strike rule. So we've all done it. We all talk to the girls, and I have a rule. Because you know what it's like. You spend time with them. The fucking phone's constantly in their hand. They've always got their phone by them. Always messaging. Always doing shit on their phone. Then mysteriously you go back home. You send one of them a message or call her to have a chat. Takes a fucking 2 days to get back to you. Where the fuck's your phone been in 2 days?
Yeah, and you know they've got their phone on them all the time.
So that's my 3-strike rule. If I've called them or texted them and I don't get a message back in what I consider reasonable time, now this sounds obsessive. This sounds very obsessive.
But you
got to protect yourself.
Yeah, but if you're trying to hook up with someone, and you believe that they're into you, right? If you send them a message, right? Especially if they send you a message, you'll be like, "Oh wow, she's messaged me." Bang! Within 5-10 minutes, you're answering it because your phone's there.
Yeah.
So if it takes them a day,
I don't think there's anyone in the world who doesn't have their phone within arm's reach.
But I mean, we've had that discussion about me, right? Because with work, when I'm during the day when I'm working,
when you're working,
right.
But,
so the thing is that it needs to be at least in a reasonable amount of time in a day. I mean, when I finish work, if someone sent me a message or something's happened, I'll get onto it and I'll start responding, right? So within a day, in that day, at some stage, there's no way they can't message you back.
Yeah.
So if it takes 2 days, something's not right.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
exactly. That's right.
The red flag.
That's the red flag. That's the
first
strike.
one.
That's the strike.
Strike one.
So they'll come out with some fucking bull. Oh, my phone's broken, or fucking whatever.
I had to take my mum to hospital.
It's 3 strikes, you're out. So anyway, I've come back, stayed in touch with this girl. I tell you, not even once, not once did she ever not respond to a text or a call within reasonable time. And I'm going, this is too good to be true.
Well, I remember that you were telling me that you'd out of the blue just ring her just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
This is at the start.
Yeah.
And she'd answer.
Yeah.
And you'd be sitting there going, I can't. I'm trying to fault her.
Yeah. I was.
You were trying to fault her.
I was trying to convince myself that it wasn't a good idea.
It wasn't a good idea, and she just kept.
Yeah. Oh, and mind you, she was fucking smoking hot too. So anyway, so this keeps going. We're in contact and that. So I went back a few months later for a quick holiday. Said, all right, I'll spend a bit of time with her, see how we interact properly, like spend the see how she acts, if she's what's the word, affectionate.
That's right, because that was in August you met her.
Yeah.
And I
We went back in February,
January.
January,
That's right. Yeah.
and I thought, oh,
Just trying to get the timeline in my
yeah,
head.
see how she reacts if
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So we spent time together, and she was like, to me, she played the game better than anyone else I know. When I say played the game, I'm not insinuating that she's tried to screw me over in the future. But at that time, I'm thinking she's playing the game. She's either genuine or she's fucking really good at this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And as you said, you had your guard up the whole time because you just couldn't believe that this was really happening.
Yeah. So then, when I got back, we had the discussion, and it was about, she was more about, look, I need to get money. I need to earn money. I've got kids and that, where are we going? And I said, look, I can't afford to send you fucking money monthly. It wasn't really that I couldn't afford it. I wasn't going to fucking do that.
Well, not
So
until you're in a relationship.
yeah. So I said to her, well, is there anything else you can do other than work in a retail store? She goes, no, but I would like to one day open up a beauty shop, but beauty school. So
now remember.
So I gave her, I think it was about 1,000 Aussie dollars. That's the only biggest amount I ever give her.
Yeah.
Was 1,000 Aussie dollars. So she went to beauty school.
Which is still a fair amount of money. It's a 20
Yeah.
No, $25,000 or something.
Yeah. So I think did we go over there again? No, that was it, wasn't it?
No, we went in January.
And
we were planning to go in April.
Yeah.
But COVID hit.
Yeah. So she's doing beauty school and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And so it was really and still, anytime I called, anytime I messaged, was bang on the money. She'd be out with friends. She'd call me, show me what she's doing, message me when she got home. Like she'd message me, I'm at home. And again, sometimes when you're in this kind of relationship, you go, are you really? So I'd fucking call, bang, she's there in bed. Like I tried to catch her out.
I know.
I could never catch her out. So then April come and I thought, all right, we'll see her in April. If this really is, if things really are as I think they are, I'll consider maybe getting her over here.
Yeah.
Because she was very open to the idea.
You were very serious.
Very open to the idea. And then COVID saved me.
Yeah.
Saved me from possibly making a mistake. I don't know. But when COVID hit, I went, yeah, no, I don't know. We didn't go on our holiday. And I went,
you chatted with her still for how long?
Oh, I've still, look.
No, but in the way of a relationship, how long did you still chat
once
with her?
COVID hit?
Yeah.
I think it was a matter of months.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember I can't think of the timeline. It would have been a few months. I think it was once we were well and truly in COVID and getting locked down.
Actually, I think you were still talking to her up until about July, August.
After probably after COVID.
And I only say that because I do remember when I actually moved in here.
Yeah.
You were still chatting to her.
Okay. Yeah.
If you recall.
I don't remember. I know it was a matter of months.
Because I was in the middle room and you were at the end room, and I used to come in and you'd be talking to her. So, and that wouldn't have happened unless I was living here.
But so anyway, I decided that she's going to eventually, because they locked down as well over there.
Oh, I know.
And she was going to start asking me for money, obviously, and we were locked down here as well. I was fortunate enough to be working still, and I thought, I know where this is going to go. I don't know when I'm going to fucking see her next. And I always said to myself, if ever I had a Thai girlfriend, I would never go more than 3 months without her coming here or me going there, because to me that's not a relationship. So here we are, probably 6 months after COVID, and I went, nah, I'm done. I'm ending it. So I ended it with her.
Yeah, because I reckon.
But after I ended it, I still used to talk to her. We'd still stay in touch.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I was friends with her on Facebook, and once whatever happened between you two happened, she disconnected from me.
Yeah.
And I think that was mainly due to the fact it's like, well, this isn't going anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just severing ties.
Yeah.
With anyone that's family,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So she eventually finished her beauty school, and I don't know how. So she's opened a salon, a beauty salon, and I've seen, where did I see the pictures? I saw, because I'm not friends with her on Facebook. I think she sent me photos and thanked me for helping her achieve that.
Yeah.
Right. And so at the opening there was a Falungai, and another Thai lady and her at the door cutting like a ribbon. Now I know this Falungai and the girl they're friends of hers. The lady is a friend of hers. So so I don't know if that guy's helped her financially open the salon.
Right.
So she's now got her own salon and working,
Right.
from what I believe, a successful business.
Mm.
Thanks to
Yeah.
Captain Saverho.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's as close as I've come. In saying that, I don't think I'll ever put it out there ever again. I'm not. Yeah, I never was interested in that kind of thing, and I don't think I'll ever do that again. It's pretty hard to have a long distance relationship.
Very.
Yeah.
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 No matter where you find someone,
Yeah.
it's really hard.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Before we go,
Yes.
I know you're looking at the time.
Yeah, I know I've got somewhere to be. So
Yeah. There is a so we talk about relationships and the pitfalls and all that kind of thing. There is a documentary floating around called My Thai Bride.
this is the English character. isn't
English
it?
guy.
Yeah.
And basically a story about a guy, met a girl, all that kind of stuff, decided to sell everything up back home,
That's right.
moved
Was,
to...
was this the one where he ended up
I
allowing?
know, I'm telling the story, you'll find
No.
out.
I just want to know. No, but he allowed her to take care of all the finances.
Well, he sold it. So he sold up, moved to her village, and they bought a pig farm.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one.
Now, here's the thing. Like, you hear this story and you think that she's fucked him over, because that's what the premise of the whole documentary is. But what had happened is he bought this pig farm and she worked on the pig farm. She worked the farm every day. He just sat back and drank beer.
Well, because he thought, I've paid for everything, I can sit here
Yeah.
and do nothing.
Now, she was thinking, she's like, well, he does fuck all, this bloke. He's a lazy prick. Because I'm sure in his mind, he's like, this is my retirement, you know?
But they never talked about it, did they?
Well, I don't know. So, but she used
But I remember in
but
some
you-
of the interviews, she used to call him lazy.
yeah, but she was in charge of the finances. She'd give him his fucking weekly allowance, which was pittance. You know, he could barely afford to put fuel in his motorbike. Anyway, it just turned sour, and they ended up splitting up. And this
And he
guy,
couldn't get home, remember?
yeah, he could get home, but he had to go because he ended up. Look, it's a long story. He ended up in Pattaya, and she went down there with her. She met him with her friend and her friend's boyfriend, and that's where it all went to shit. So she fucked off back to the village, and he was stuck in Pattaya, and he's running out of money. So then he's gone off to go back home. So he's gone back to the village, begged her to give him money for the airfare back home. So she's given him money for the airfare back home. She's given him the money. He's saying his goodbyes to her. His last words to her were, "I'm going to go back home. I'll find work. I'll make some more money, and I'll come back, and we can start again." Are you fucking stupid, mate? Like, seriously. So then it
And
cuts.
she even told him, don't come back.
Yeah. So then it cuts to him at the airport. He's standing at the airport, and he's saying, "All I've got are the clothes in my bag and the clothes on my back. That's all I got."
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, dude. Like, so there's two sides to that story.
First of all, don't hand over your finances to
Yeah.
anybody else.
Was this all part of her plan? Probably.
Probably.
She probably knew that he would go over there and do fuck all, and then that would happen. And she set herself up.
Or he still helped, and she's sitting there going, I don't want him around anymore. He's too old for me.
Well, I don't know.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
Yeah,
We
who
don't know.
knows?
We know the story that it is.
Yeah.
And he was a lazy bugger.
Yeah.
And he even used to catch up with some expats. Remember? He used to
Yeah.
go to some-
Yeah. A lot of them do that. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, guys,
Well-
I don't know. That was I don't know if that was informative. That was just some stories and some bit of advice about relationships in Thailand. It's not fucking easy, and when you do find that one, even that's fucking hard. So,
Long distance ain't easy.
I recommend you just stick to your 3-day rule and remember that love's just a bar stool away, and just keep on going.
Certainly is. Certainly is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you again next week.
Yep.
Again,
Stay tuned.
yeah, any emails, follow us on TikTok. It's all there. So we'll look forward to seeing you again.
Yep. And as I said,
Love
love's
it.
just a bar stool away.
That's right. All right.
See you guys.
Bye.